When comfort disappears, most people fall apart. It's a reality that we rarely consider. We're so accustomed to the conveniences of our modern lives, warm beds, stocked pantries, quiet nights, that we forget how quickly they can vanish. Think about the raw elements. The biting cold of a winter night, the gnawing ache of an empty stomach, the primal fear that comes with uncertainty, and the bone-deep fatigue from a lack of rest. These are the challenges that break people, shattering their resolve long before any physical threat even enters the picture. Prepping may seem straightforward when life is calm, when you can plan and strategize from the comfort of your living room. But when the collapse sets in, it's a different game entirely. It's a fight that doesn't let up, a relentless struggle against discomfort that keeps pushing back. The first 30 days aren't just about surviving, they're about enduring. Water is life. Yet most preppers don't store enough of it. It's easy to underestimate the sheer volume of water we consume daily, not just for drinking, but also for cooking and sanitation. In the aftermath of a collapse, having a reliable source of clean water is more vital than ever. Now let's talk about the effects of dehydration. It's not just about feeling parched. When your body lacks water, your physical strength dwindles. Your mind too begins to falter, clouding your judgment and dulling your clarity. This can lead to making poor decisions at times when making the right call could mean the difference between life and death. For preppers, the focus often leans more towards food stockpiling, but the reality is that without water, your survival chances diminish rapidly. Remember, in the first 30 days of a crisis, hydration is as crucial, if not more, than nutrition. Never underestimate the power of water in your survival strategy. Survival burns calories fast. It's a constant race against the clock, a battle against your own body. Every minute you're awake, every step you take, every load you carry, every decision you make, it all costs you. It costs you energy, it costs you calories. And let's not forget the mental toll of staying constantly alert. It's like running a marathon, every single day with no finish line in sight. Now, you might think you're prepared. You have a pantry full of canned goods, maybe some freeze-dried meals. But here's the harsh truth. Even preppers with huge pantries collapse. They collapse because they didn't plan for the physical cost of staying alive. You see, survival isn't just about having enough food to eat. It's about having enough energy to function. And that's something most preppers overlook when they're stocking their shelves. Real life isn't like a movie scene. Many preppers imagine they'll defend their homes like action heroes, but the reality is far from it. For 30 straight days, you're not just fighting off intruders, you're fighting off fear, uncertainty, and the relentless march of time. Security isn't just about having the biggest gun or the tallest fence, it's about maintaining vigilance, and that's where sleep comes in. Without a good night's rest, your judgment becomes clouded, your reflexes slow, and your ability to make critical decisions diminishes. And let's not forget, exhaustion is cumulative. You can't just catch up on sleep. Every sleepless night is a debt that needs to be paid back, and in a survival situation, that debt can be deadly. So remember, when the chips are down, a well-rested mind is your greatest weapon. You can't guard anything if you're exhausted. Bunkering down and waiting isn't always the best strategy. The idea of bugging in, holing up in your safe, fortified home, might seem like a cozy plan on paper, but reality paints a different picture. It's a war of attrition, a slow decay that can break even the most prepared among us. Sanitation becomes a nightmare. Garbage piles up, and with it, the risk of disease skyrockets. Illness, often overlooked in prepping plans, can quickly turn a safe haven into a death trap. Temperature regulation is another challenge. Heat waves and cold snaps can make your home uninhabitable. And let's not forget the mental toll. Boredom is a silent killer. The human mind needs stimulation, and without it, morale plummets. So, before you decide to simply bug in and wait, remember, it's not a cozy hideout. It's a war of slow decay. And in this war, the enemy isn't just outside your door. It's also within your walls. Traveling in a survival situation is harder than you think. Picture this, you're hauling a loaded pack, your body is aching from the unfamiliar weight, your feet are blistered, and the weather, oh, it's never on your side. The miles stretch out before you, each step a testament to your determination. You're not just going for a casual hike, you're battling for survival. The common misconception is that the right gear will make the journey easier. While it's true to an extent, the reality is, no gear can compensate for physical weakness. A top-tier backpack won't lighten the load if your muscles aren't conditioned to carry it. High-tech boots won't prevent blisters if your feet aren't used to marching miles on end. In essence, Survival travel is less about the gear you carry and more about the strength you possess. Remember, survival travel is a test of endurance and resolve. You're not just moving from point A to point B, you're carrying your life on your shoulders. Medical emergencies don't wait for convenient times. They strike when you least expect them, and in a post-collapse world, they can be the difference between life and death. Most preppers, while armed with a stockpile of bandages, antiseptics, and over-the-counter remedies, lack the real medical training needed to treat anything beyond basic wounds. Imagine a deep cut, a severe infection, a sudden stomach illness. These are common medical issues that, left untreated or improperly treated, can quickly become life-threatening. The stark reality is that in a survival situation, there are no ambulances, no ERs to rush to, no doctors on call. A simple ailment can escalate into a critical condition, and without the right knowledge and skills, it could spell the end. It's a grim truth that we must face. After collapse, there are no hospitals coming. Bro, the mind fails before the body. This is a harsh truth that many preppers don't account for. The psychological challenges of survival are often overlooked, but they are as real and as brutal as any physical trial. Imagine the deafening silence when the hum of civilization fades away. Picture the oppressive loneliness when familiar faces and places are replaced by an empty wilderness or a desolate cityscape. There's also the relentless pressure of making life or death decisions day after day, with no room for error. And let's not forget the weight of responsibility, the burden of ensuring not just your survival, but possibly the survival of your loved ones as well. All these factors can crack even the most resilient mind. They can lead to despair, to poor judgment, to mistakes that can be fatal in a survival situation. Remember, the first month after a collapse isn't just physically demanding, it's psychologically brutal. No one survives alone forever. It's a truth we've seen time and again. In the harshest of conditions, community becomes more than just a social construct. It evolves into a vital survival tool. Alliances, partnerships, shared responsibilities. These aren't just luxuries of a civilized society. They're the cornerstones of survival when the world as we know it changes overnight. In a survival situation, trust becomes a currency more valuable than gold or ammunition. Knowing that there's someone watching your back, sharing the load and standing with you against the odds, that's a game changer. It's what keeps the human spirit alive when everything else is trying to break it down. The lone wolf, the solitary survivor. It's a romantic notion, but the stark reality is that lone wolves rarely make it past 30 days. It's the strength of the pack that determines survival. And in the face of collapse, community isn't just a factor. Community is a survival tool. Most preppers fail because they prepared for supplies instead of survival. They fall into the comfort trap, thinking they're ready, only to crumble when the world around them does. They neglect the water reality, focusing on food, not realizing that without clean water they lose their strength, clarity, and judgment. They underestimate the energy crash that comes with the physical cost of survival, and the security fantasy that quickly turns into a nightmare of sleepless nights and constant vigilance. They believe in the bug-in myth, thinking they can just bunker down and wait it out, not accounting for the slow decay of their shelter and their sanity. They're not prepared for the bug-out failure, the physical toll of moving their gear. They overlook the medical gap, the dire consequences of a simple cut or infection. They disregard the mental collapse that can happen in the face of loneliness and responsibility. And they forget the importance of the community factor, the alliances and trust that can mean the difference between survival and death. So it's important to remember, prepping is more than just having the right gear. It's about having the right mindset, securing a consistent water source, preparing for the physical demands of survival, planning for security, understanding the realities of bugging in and bugging out, having basic medical training and mental resilience, and building a strong community. Which of these do you think kills people first? Comment below and stay ready.